The US dollar is flexing its muscles again. Just when the markets thought calm had returned, the greenback surged to a near 3-month high, shaking currencies and commodities on the world. So what's really happening beneath this calm surface? On November 3, 2025, the US dollar climbed close to its strongest level in 3 months. Investors are waiting for key data and on-farm payrolls, PMI reports, and above all, any new signal from the Federal Reserve on whether it will cut interest rates again this year. The USD index hit 107.1, the highest since August. Meanwhile, the Japanese yen slumped to an 8.5-month low, around 154 yuan per dollar. While the euro and British pound also weakened as Europe and the UK struggle with slow growth and stubborn inflation. Analysts say the rally comes as money seeks safe havens amid rising geopolitical risks from the Middle East and Asia. At the same time, the US economy remains resilient, strong jobs, steady demand, giving the Fed no reason to loosen policy too soon. Imagine you're an average American, not an investor, just paying off your mortgage or your car loan. When interest rates stay high, your monthly payment eats deeper into your wallet. But on the bright side, a strong dollar makes imported goods cheaper, phones, clothes, electronic stocks, so the consumer smiles, but exporters suffer. Companies like Boeing, Tesla, and U.S. farmers find their products more expensive abroad. The dollar giveth, the dollar taketh away. Let's be real, when the dollar gets too strong, Americans become both the boss and the victim. The boss, because the world still trades in your currency. The victim, because high rates freeze housing and squeeze small investors. And geopolitically, it's about power. A strong dollar is a symbol of dominance, but if it gets too strong, it motivates others, China, Russia, the Gulf states, to build alternatives. Sometimes even the Fed needs to pretend to be weak to keep the balance. In short, the dollar is powerful, but not without cost. Every tick on the currency chart represents millions of people holding their breath. One word from the Fed could change everything overnight. So if you care about your savings, your gas bill, or your future, keep an eye on Washington this week. Think Asia is calm? Think again. This morning, Taiwan revealed that the US is scrambling to deliver F-16 fighter jets after months of delays, and when America moves jets, it's more than hardware, it's strategy in action. On November 3, 2025, Taiwan's Defense Ministry announced that the 66 aircraft F-16B deal ordered from the United States, originally scheduled for completion by end of 2026, has faced significant delays due to production line relocation and supply chain disruption. The ministry reported that contractors are now running 2 shifts at 20 hours per day to speed up delivery, and that 50 planes are already in production. Among these, 10 are earmarked for flight tests this year, ahead of full delivery in 2026. Taiwan has long complained about repeated delays from its biggest arms supplier, the United States, while facing mounting threats from China. The U.S. move is seen as a clear signal of commitment and an escalation in the region's military balance. Imagine you're following this as an American citizen. You may not fly jets, but your tax dollars, your national debt, your political capital are involved. For Taiwan, quick F-16 delivery equals enhanced deterrence against Chinese air power. For the U.S., it's a reaffirmation of the defender of democracy brand in Asia, and a challenge to Beijing's ambitions For China, it's a signal to step up or step back and has broader implications for regional stability. Let's be real, when words like ramping up production and fighter jets appear in the same sentence, you're not just reading about weapons, you are reading about influence and leverage. And the ultimate end user. Not just pilots in Taiwan, but everyday Americans, because when defense spending goes up, taxes may go up, priorities shift, and the gain gets bigger. Are the US simply protecting its interests, or investing in a global power play that you and I will ultimately pay for? This F-16 deal isn't just news, it's a strategic knot being tied. Whether you live in the US or watch from afar, the ripples arrive at your door from Asia, through Washington's corridors, into your wallet. Got a thought? Drop it in the comments, I'll pick one for next time. Today, folks, buckle up. A major shift is underway, and the U.S.-South Korea military alliance. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth landed in Seoul on November 3, 2025 to talk about giving the 28,500 U.S. troops stationed in Korea a brand new mission, not just guarding the peninsula, but operating more broadly across Asia. During talks with South Korean Defense Minister and Baek, Hegseth and his team discussed the annual Security Consultative Meeting SCM agenda. Key topics: readiness against North Korea, missile defense cooperation, cyber threats, and a redefinition of the U.S. force posture. Most notably, U.S. officials are considering giving their troops in Korea more flexibility to respond outside the peninsula, as Washington seeks to counter China's growing reach from the Taiwan Strait to the South China Sea. Meanwhile, Seoul is pushing ahead with its biggest defense budget increase in use for 2026. One reason being pressure from the U.S. to pay more for American military presence. Think about this as an American taxpayer. Your service member isn't just stationed in Korea anymore. They might be dispatched to hotspots around Asia. That means your government is spending more, risking more, shifting focus for the U.S. It's a message: we're still your global sheriff. For South Korea, they get greater protection, but also greater expectation and cost. For local citizens in both countries, the ripple effects show up in budgets, taxes, jobs, even regional stability. Let's cut to it. When you hear words like agile deployment and Asia-wide operations, you're not just listening to military jargon, you're hearing the sound of a chessboard being reset. America wants to protect its allies. Great, but when you protect, someone pays. The everyday citizen in the US or Korea might not see the front lines, but they see housing prices, they feel taxes, they watch the overseas budget climb. Meanwhile, any incident involving those troops will grab headlines, and that means your country could be forced into conflict you didn't sign up for. And one thing to keep in mind: when global power games ramp up, you are watching them in dollars, not just flags. Ask yourself, asterisk, are we protecting freedom, or just paying a bigger price for someone else's war? Bottom line, the US-Korea force posture isn't just about soldiers and bases. It's about power, priorities, and pocketbooks. Living in 2025 means you're part of a story that spans the DMZ, the Pacific, and your wallet. Drop your take in the comments below. I'll pick one fire comment and dive deep. Next week, like, subscribe, ring that bell. Thanks for watching. So those were the 3 major stories you needed today. From the US-Korea force posture shift to global ripples in defense and strategy. But here's the takeaway. The world's chessboard isn't played only in capitals. It hits your wallet, your choices, your everyday life. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a future briefing.